I get a lot of emails from women who want help to quit drinking. And what many people write in these emails could be summarised like this. I'm an intelligent, resourceful woman who's not afraid of hard work. In other areas of my life, I've got my shit together. So, why can't I figure out how to quit drinking? Why does this seem to be the one thing I can't do? I know many of you will relate to that feeling. Perhaps you've got a good job that you worked hard for, or a nice home, or your life looks pretty great from the outside. So your drinking feels like this big secret, this hidden personal failing that you're glad most people don't know about. Today, I want to talk about those times when you tell yourself, why is it that I've got things together in every other area of my life, but drinking is the one thing I can't figure out, I can't fix, I can't do it? That thought feels terrible to think, doesn't it? And when you follow that thought, well, you end up making up stories about yourself. Stories like, maybe this is just one of those things I'm never going to be able to do. Maybe I've got an addictive personality. Maybe I just need to try harder or be stronger. None of that stuff is helpful or correct. And if you do that, all you'll end up doing is repeating the same things that aren't working or giving up. So, let's think about this in a different way and try something different and see what that opens up for you. And there are 3 things that I want to tell you. So first of all those other things in your life that you feel you're really good at now, that you kind of take for granted, well, you did have to work at them for a while. There was a time when you weren't so great at your job, when you were learning how to do it and making mistakes. And there was a time when you were learning other stuff, like how to drive. I was just thinking about that today, how it used to feel impossible to get into the right gear and hit the right pedal and mirror signal maneuver. But now, you don't even think about it. The brain loves to look back at things through rose-tinted glasses and pretend that, other things were different. They came so easily and so naturally to us. But that's just not true. We worked at those other things. Success is always like an iceberg. What people see and what we're really good at remembering is just this bit at the top. We tend to forget all the other stuff underneath. You weren't ever good at anything immediately. You worked at it and you practiced, and now quitting drinking is where your work is. That's the next thing for you. And yes, it's going to take a bit of figuring out and work and consistency, and that's okay. The second thing I want to tell you is that struggling with alcohol is way more common than you think. And I want to point this out because I sense that a lot of our pain and frustration comes from feeling as if we shouldn't be finding this hard, or this should be easy, or we should have just stopped or figured it out already. When we go down that path, we forget that alcohol is addictive. And when you're using addictive substances, it's kind of normal to get addicted to them. I mean, from a really early age, we're sold on alcohol as this thing that's fun and sophisticated and exciting. So why wouldn't you want more of that? And then as adults, we're told this, that we need alcohol in order to survive life, and that it's totally normal to drink through a bad day. How on earth could you deal with it otherwise? When we are bombarded with stuff like this, it's no wonder that quitting drinking feels like giving up so much, and it feels so hard. We are conditioned to think that we should have an easy time of controlling alcohol. We're told that we should be able to use this addictive, mind-bending substance responsibly. and with ease. But we wouldn't say that about any other drug. Our individual relationship with alcohol tends to be quite a complicated thing that's been created slowly over many years. So dismantling that relationship is always going to be about more than just trying harder or just being strong. No, it's always going to be about the beliefs and stories that you have about alcohol, and that's going to take a bit of unpicking and some careful thought work. So this is the kind of thing I teach on my online course. But just know that you are perfectly capable of doing that work and changing the way that you think. You've just got to approach this in the right way. The third thing I want to say is this. When you're drinking, you are choosing short-term comfort and long-term discomfort. So you've got the short-term comfort of saying yes to that urge to drink, but then you've got the long-term discomfort of being hungover, feeling bad, worrying about your drinking, and all the other unpleasant stuff that has led to you watching this video. So in sobriety, you've got to be willing to choose short-term discomfort so you get long-term comfort, well-being, and satisfaction in your life. You're choosing to say no to a drink and experience the awkwardness of breaking a pattern of behaviour because the long-term gains are going to be so worth it. Now, if you are someone who identified with what I said at the start of this video, in that you have experienced success in your life, you have worked hard, and you have reached goals, and you've done things that you're proud of, and you've got most of your shit together, well, I know then that you have experience of choosing short-term discomfort in order to get those long-term gains. I know that you're in the habit of doing that already because that is how you've created so many of those other wins and achievements in your life. You can learn how to do the same thing with drinking. You can. You can learn to choose short-term discomfort and feel good about that. But it all starts with you believing that you can do it and dropping this idea that drinking is just the one thing that's always going to be your weakness or impossible to figure out. You have got to be willing to give up that story. So, I'm Kate B. Wherever you're watching this, I'd love you to scroll down, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this. Has this resonated with you? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And I'm wishing you a very happy and hangover-free week ahead.